So, you should be feeling nice and warm. I'm just going to set at my clock. The first round, like I said, is the strength and conditioning round. So I'm going to set up my Tabata timer here. I'll demonstrate the first movement first, and then I'll start the clock, so you'll have 10 seconds to go when I press that button. The first one of this round is Warrior 1 to Warrior 2. So we're going to come to the front of our mats, take a big step back with one leg. We'll switch at half time, coming back into that Warrior stance. So if you need to take a slightly wider stance, feel free to help you balance. Inhale to lift the arms, hips are square to the front of the mat, and then exhale as you sink down into that Warrior 1 position. You're then just going to inhale to lift, exhale as you come back down into Warrior 2. So inhale to lift and twist, exhale to sink, inhale to lift and twist, exhale to sink. So you're simply going from one to the other, and then at half time stepping forwards, resetting on the other side, and then repeating. So it's quite small, but you'll find this will burn your legs. So 10 seconds to start. So set yourself up, front of the mat Tadasana, take a big step back, find that Warrior 1 position. Inhale to lift, exhale, Warrior 1. Inhale to lift and twist, exhale, Warrior 2. And just keep methodically working through both sides, through both movements, sorry. I'll tell you when you're coming up to halfway, which is about now. So inhale to lift and twist, step forwards, and then switch sides, step back. Warrior 1 on the right side or left side, whichever you haven't done. And again, you're back to that lifting and twisting. So you should feel this in your glutes. You've got this for 5 more seconds. And then when you're ready, relax. The next one is a high plank hold. So you're going to come to the back of your mat, walk your hands all the way to the front of the mat, and then shoot the body weight forwards over those fingertips. Option to use your knees if you need to, or option to lift them. Really think about pulling the shoulder blades apart, pressing the ground away, and rounding through that spine. You have just coming up to 5 seconds left of rest. So set yourself up at the back of the mat. Walk those hands all the way to the front of the mat. Find your high plank position. Maybe hold for a count of 3, 2, 1, and then walk all the way back. Come all the way forwards again, and hold. So think about bracing those ribs down towards your pelvis, tucking that tailbone under, and really squeezing that core. Use your core to help lift the body away from the ground. Press the ground away, pull those shoulder blades apart so you're making space across the top of the back as you're pressing into that ground, almost trying to hollow out your chest. 10 seconds to go, and then you're on to the next movement. And in 3, 2, 1, relax. We're coming down onto the floor now for a pistol progression. So one foot comes in towards the glute, and then you're just going to lift and sit back down. So you're lifting the body up, hovering for a moment or two, lifting and lowering, and then switching, either alternating or switching halfway. If you need to use your hands to help you. Set yourself up.
Let's go.
And go. So lift and switch. So really press the whole of your foot. Keep your foot completely flat into that mat. As you lift, reach your nose towards your toes. So think about sending your shoulders, your nose, everything forwards over that grounded leg. You're coming up to halfway. So you're doing so well. Just got 2 more movements left in this round to do. And then you get a whole minute's worth of rest. 10 seconds to go. Keep going. Keep methodically working through. You've got this. Brilliant. So the next one is dolphin to plank. You're going to come down into that down facing dog position, but on your forearms, dolphin pose. You're then going to press into the ground to lift up and shoot forwards into plank. If this is too much for you, just do one hand at a time, rotating and going up with the opposite arm each time. So set yourself up in that dolphin pose, that upside down V, but on your forearms, and then lift and press back. Both hands at the same time is quite hard, so don't be surprised if you maybe get one or two. Just really think about engaging that core, engaging your lateral muscles as well to find that press and lift the body away from the floor. In that dolphin pose, remember your head is not on the ground, it is above the ground. So really push through the elbows to lift the head away from the ground.
10 seconds.
You have 10 seconds left. You've got this. This is really good for shoulder mobility, stability and strength. And relax. The next one is a high to low lunge. So we're going to step back into that lunge position. We'll switch it halfway, lifting up into that high lunge. And as we exhale to low lunge, we're cactusing the arms out to the side. Inhale to lift, exhale to cactus. At halfway, we'll switch sides, inhaling to lift, exhaling to cactus. So set yourself up, find that high lunge position. Inhale to lift, exhale, tap the knee to the floor and cactus the arms. Circle the arms back round as you inhale to lift back up again. Keep track of the number of reps that you've done. You're nearly coming up to halfway, so 1 or 2 more reps. And then start thinking about switching over now. Step to the front of the mat and step back on the other leg. So finding that halfway, that high lunge, exhale to lower, inhale to lift, exhale to lower. So with the cactus arms, squeeze those shoulder blades together, find that pinch. This is the last movement, 3 seconds left. Go all the way. Nice, grab a bottle of water. You should be feeling quite worked out already, maybe a little sweat's coming on. And then we move into our cardio round. So get ready. In fact, I'm just going to make a little bit of space for this one. So you've just got 30 seconds left of rest. So I will start demonstrating the next movement. So relax, guys. The first one of the round is a single leg squat. So you might have seen this on my Instagram earlier this week. You're going to come up into that chair position, sitting back into your heels, lift one heel off the ground, and then just simply pulse 5 times, and then switch and pulse 5 times on the other side. You're just going to alternate, trying to get the similar number of reps on both sides. You have 3 seconds to go, so set yourself up and start pulsing. So lifting one heel off the ground. If you want to make this harder, see if you can go lower. The lower you go, the harder it is. Just always make sure that you sit back and down flat into that foot. Don't let the heel lift off the floor, and really use that grounded leg. There shouldn't be much weight going through that lifted leg at all. You're over halfway now. You have 15 seconds left on the clock, and then we're going on to the next movement.
10 seconds.
And in 5, 4, relax. The next one is down dog shakiti hops. So you're coming from your down facing dog, and then you're simply going to bend the knees, look forwards and hop from side to side, lifting through the arms. You can reset in down facing dog each time if you wish, or you can just hop from side to side. You can also step as well. So set yourself up, down facing dog. If you want to step, step and squat, step back to down facing dog, and then step to the other side, squat, step back to down facing dog. Think about using those hands, gripping the mat properly, pressing through the shoulders, so pulling those shoulder blades apart. Don't let your neck sink into your shoulders sink into your ears. Really good. Brace that core, find that pounce. See if you can find a little lift, a little float if you want to make it harder. You have 10 seconds left to go. And then you've got 25 seconds rest. So in 3, 2, 1.
Rest.
The next one is a simple alternating tiger curl. So we're going to stay in that down facing dog position, and we're simply just going to bring one knee forwards to the front of the mat, nose to knee, step back, other knee comes through, nose to knee. So you're just simply moving methodically through, finding that lift and tuck at the front of the mat. Set yourself up, down facing dog.
Let's go.
And then exhale as you push back. Sorry, inhale as you push back. Exhale to crunch forwards with that knee. See if you can really create space as you lift forwards. So as you lift forwards and tuck that knee up, try and keep it nice and high rather than scooting it through. The harder it is to lift, the easier is to keep it low. You can just reduce it to simple mountain climbers if you wish. It's up to you. You're over halfway. You have 10 seconds to go.
10 seconds.
And then we're back.
Rest.
So find yourself in that down facing dog position. You're going to inhale to lift the leg up, bend at the knee, find that twist, that scorpion twist, and then you're going to scoot it through and pull back into that side kick. We're going to so I'll do it the other way so you can see. We're going to do this each side, but switching halfway. So set yourself up, down facing dog. Find that scorpion pose, so bend at the knee, twist if you want, and then pull back and twist underneath. So thread that leg through and under. This is quite intense. So guys, this is level 4 out of the 6, week 4 out of the 6-week plan. So this is going to be slightly more intense than other weeks. So feel free to scale any of these movements back. They are getting more progressive each week. You have just coming up to 10 seconds on the clock, and we have one last movement of this round.
Rest.
So the 5th and final movement is down facing dog to a lizard pounce. So you're going to bend at the knees, look forwards, and then step that foot forwards and step back. So you're stepping forwards and back from that down facing dog position. So set yourself up, down facing dog, stepping that foot outside of the hand, finding that lizard lunge, and then stepping back. If you want to make this harder, you can add a pounce, so you can lift one hand at a time, so you can lift that hand as you step forwards. With that same foot that you step forwards, you can lift the hand. Whichever you prefer. Just move methodically through. You've got this. Well done.
10 seconds.
And then in 5, 4, you get a nice rest. So you've got a minute's worth of rest now. Grab some water, and then we're on to our final round. Final 5 movements, core progressions, or core focus. So a bit less sweaty, but equally as hard. So we're coming up to 30 seconds, so I will demonstrate the next one. The first movement of the final round is a simple hollow hold. So you're going to come onto your backs. Think about gluing that lower spine into the ground. So option 1, just simply come up into this tuck position, lifting your shoulders and feet off the floor. Option 2, you can start to extend one leg at a time, maybe hold for half the time, and then switch. Option 3, extend the hands as you extend the legs. And then option 4, extend both legs. So set yourself up in that hollow hold position. Remember, you can do that just the C-curl tuck progression, the alternating, the single leg extension, both hands extended with the single legs, or both feet extended. Feel free to come down at halfway. So we're coming to halfway now. Take 3 breaths.
Halfway there.
And then reset if you need to. It's quite hard. So make sure that that lower back does not lift off the floor at all, whichever progression you've got. Think about pushing that belly button down towards your spine to push the spine into the floor. You have 5 seconds to go, and then we're switching over.
Rest.
So we've just done the hollow hold on the front. We're going to do the back. So we're going to come into an arch hold. So chest and thighs off the floor. And we're simply hanging out here. If you need to, you can lift and lower, just relaxing in the middle of each, or you can see if you can hold the whole thing, or you can make it harder by holding the whole thing and adding a rock. So set yourself up, find that arch position. So squeeze your glutes, squeeze your inner thighs, lift your chest off the floor and hold. So option to just do maybe just your arms or maybe just your legs if it's still too hard, or you can simply lift and lower. This is quite difficult. If you're good on the front, you're usually poor on the back and vice versa. So I always struggle with the hollow holds rather than the arches. You're over halfway, guys, so you're nearly there. And then we are into our third movement. You have coming up to 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
And then we are sitting up on our mats. So in 3, 2, 1. Find yourself now in a seated position. We're going to come into our tuck pose and then extend the legs to boat, tuck, boat, tuck, boat. Option to just do single legs or simple crunches if you want. You can put the toes on the floor each time or you can keep them lifted. So go whichever progression is easier for you. You can also use your hands on the floor if you need to. Just think about not sinking into that lower back, making sure your chest is nice and lifted and really squeezing that core, but also feeling that compression zone working too. So you should feel this in your quads. If you want to make it harder, see if you can hold in that boat position just for a moment or two before returning back to that tuck, and you will feel that burn, I promise you. You're over halfway. And then we are on to some core compression and arm strength. You have just coming up to 5 seconds left on the clock.
Rest.
So for this one, we're coming into our L-sit progression. So we're just simply going to take ourselves into a seated position, extended legs, and lift the hips up and back. So you're pressing into the ground with your fingers and pulling your hips back as far as you can. If you have blocks or parallettes, you might want to grab those. Set yourself up in that seated position. Hands are about mid-thigh. Press into the ground and pull back. I don't know whether the parallettes make it harder or easier, actually. So you're just squeezing, engaging that core, keeping tension throughout the legs as you pull back. It will make it easier, trust me. Keep lifting and pulling. This is going to be hard on your arms, your fingers, definitely your compression zone, but also your core as well. You're over halfway, and we have just one last movement left. Coming up to 10 seconds on the clock for this one. Keep moving, you've got this. 2 more lifts. And relax.
Rest.
So from here, we're going to come into our down dog position and we're going to come into those square knee taps. So you're going to lift one leg up, send the leg back, bring it forwards to the elbow, to the opposite elbow, to the wrist, to the other wrist, back up to the elbow, and then kick back and switch over. So you're lifting one leg, exhaling as you bring it forwards, elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow, kick back. Set yourself up. Think about drawing a square with your knee. So you're coming into that. If this is too much, you can simply just tap knee to elbow, or you can do knee to opposite elbow and reduce it to those crisscross crunches, or just go back to those mountain climbers if you just want a bit of a blast. You're over halfway. So this should be feeling pretty tough now, guys. You're doing so well. The higher you can press yourself away from the ground, the easier it's going to be to draw that square, because you're going to have more space. And in 3, 2, 1, relax. You are done. So we'll do a nice cool down. So if you want to just grab some water and then meet back in extended child's pose to finish. Reaching forwards with the hands and forehead to the floor. So we'll just take 3 deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Trying to just calm that heart rate down. Last deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then bring your left hand back to your left knee. Reach over to the top right corner with your right hand. And again, just take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Feeling that stretch in the side body. Last deep breath all the way in. And then switch sides. So right hand comes back to right knee, reaching forwards with the left hand to the right top corner of the mat. Finding that stretch. And taking another 3 deep breaths. Last deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then slowly come up onto your hands and knees. We're going to step the left leg forwards, outside of the left hand, reaching forwards with the chest and the hips, finding that stretch in that hip flexor. Maybe take a few moments to just pulse into that groin, open it up, and then we're going to take opposite hand. So left hand back to right foot, bringing that heel in towards the glute, maybe even pulsing a few times, and then holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, step back, and then step forwards with the right leg this time. So same again, opposite side, setting yourself up, maybe just taking a few moments to pulse in the bottom of that lunge, and then reaching back, right hand to left foot, heel to bum, pulse a few times, and then hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, and then come onto your back. So we're going to swivel ourselves all the way around, coming onto our backs, bringing our knees in towards our chest, hugging them in tight. You can maybe rock from side to side, massage your lower back, and then take your hands out wide, palms facing down, glue those shoulders to the floor, take the toes to the floor, keep the heels lifted, and then just drop your knees from side to side for a few window wipers to finish. Opening up the hips, the lower back, releasing off any tension of the spine, trying to keep those shoulders as glued to the floor as possible. One more each side, and then just gently bring your knees all the way back in towards your chest. Hug them with both arms, nose to knees as you inhale, exhale to lower, and then slowly bring yourself all the way up to seated. Find yourself in the center of the mat, and take one last deep inhale as we lift our hands up above our heads, palms together, as we exhale to the forehead, kind thoughts. To the lips, kind words. To the heart, kind feelings. Namaste.